Yo, Peter Elgar Photography from Brentwood, Essex in little old England here. Another very happy bunny I am indeed. But unfortunately, one of my greatest friends passed away. And it's a bit sad, but I've got this wonderful memory of him. His sons have given me his Rollleiflex Model T with some exciting accessories. So we'll go through the Rolleiflex T and I'll show you this wonderful gear. This came out, I think, in the 1950s or thereabouts. There was a grey one, there's a black one. This is the black one. Twin lens reflex, Zeiss Tessar lens, 75mm 3.5, and it's got a hydrostat to 75mm 2.8 viewing lens. This takes bayonet 1 size accessories, and I do have a bayonet 1 lens hood, but I don't have the Rolleiflex filters. But here we are. This is a wonderful machine. First of all, we have a locking device here, which is slightly different from my other Rolleiflexes. It hinges down and you can't press the release, so you pull it up to press the release. This is where you wind the film. Wind it round and set it. You press the release, take a snap. Then in order to change everything, you use one knob on the side here that's done everything. So you have to make two little adjustments. So it's on a 30th between F11 at the moment, 8 and 11. So we put it to F11. If you want to change it to 60th at F8, it automatically does it for you, and 125th at 5.6. They are linked. If you want to change the exposure, you have to pull this knob and change the aperture here as to an aperture you want, or you push the knob and you choose a shutter speed that you want, say 15th, and then you change the aperture by pulling the knob here, and then the aperture changes. So it's all done on that one knob. And other Rolleiflexes, you've got wheels here which do it. This one only got that one knob which does everything. This knob is for the delayed action. So we wind it on. The delayed action is set to electronic flash here, and when you put it V, you pull it out, set it to V, press the release. Very quiet. Synchro computer shutter. Very quiet. Yes. Here it goes. Beautiful. Then on the side here you have your focusing mechanism. In here you have a little device for setting to remind you what film speed you got, because there's no exposure meter with this model. Here we have a depth of field scale, which I never use because I'm so experienced now. I don't need to keep checking the depth of field for apertures, but you can. And then on here you've got the distances you are focused away, and I think this is the export model, so it's in feet. Yes, this is the export model to England, so it's in feet. If it was German, of course it'd be in meters. Lovely smooth focusing, nothing wrong with it, and the lens was all clean. Now we have here a removable hood, and we have also got in this wonderful case, and I put some of my Neats for oil on that because it hasn't been serviced or looked after for over 60 years. Here we have the Rolleiflex Pentaprism. Beautiful. And you slide that in like that, so it clicks, and then you can look through there, and everything is the correct way round and the right way up. But if you take it off and you view into the viewing screen this way, it's the right way up, but it's reversed left to right, remember. So that's the Pentaprism. Now with it came a 16 on kit, again in this lovely little leather case, and I've used it. Now there's viewfinder masks for putting into the hood here. You fit the viewfinder masks over there if you want, but I never use that direct vision viewfinder now because I've got the pentaprism. So I don't bother to fit these masks over there. That's the one with 16 on. There's one with little square super slides. But what we do have is the wonderful gadget for putting 16 on frames onto your film. Undo the back carefully. Put the lens cap on so we don't put our grubby hands on it and smear it. Then you find a spring. Here's the spring. And you push that in. I think you push the bottom in first. Now you push the top in first, like that. Then you push it against the spring. Then it pops into place underneath, like that. And here we are. Now, how do you know that it's changed to 16 on now? Because the Rolleiflex one doesn't have another counter, unlike the Rollei cord, which I've got. But lo and behold, in the window here, it now says 16 frames. As if by magic, this has pressed on something in there and changed it from 12 to 16 frames. So you get 16 pictures now. Very, very good. But how do you account for the square in the viewfinder? Well, you have to undo that, and in here you put one of two. We want the oblong one. Here's the oblong one, that's the square one, which I never use because that is for super slides. Then we've got a little notch here and we've got a little hole there, and we have to look at the notches and hole here, and you put that in there. Right, so it lays over the little hole, and that goes over the little notch like that. Yes, that is all correct. And you put your focusing screen back, and then you can either slide on your pentaprism. In fact, if you want to vertical pictures, you've got to have the pentaprism. So we put the pentaprism on. Now you look through it, and your 16 on set is landscape format. If you want a vertical picture of a portrait, you look through the camera holding it this way. You look into the pentaprism like that, and you can wind it and fire it quite easily. I've done all that. There we are. You hold it there and press the release. You look into there, hold it vertically, smashing. Takes a picture like that. If you don't have the pentaprism, then it's for 16 on, everything is oblong, and you have to use the direct vision viewfinder here with the mask. There is a magnifier for critical focusing here, and I always use that to get everything really, really sharp. It's being a leaf shutter, you can synchronise with electronic flash at any shutter speeds, but this is the one for flash bulbs, which we don't use nowadays, so you have to be careful that the synchronisation of this shutter doesn't go usually faster than 1/30th of a second for flash bulbs, but we don't use that. So as I say, wonderful results. Now we load the film. Now with the normal Rolleiflex, you have an extra bar, and you put the film under that bar and crank it. It will automatically field when the film comes, but this one doesn't. Here is a 1976 dated Ektachrome X. So I very much doubt that's going to be any good, but we'll use it for test purposes. With the Rolleiflex T, you load your film like this, there we are, and you put it over the, you don't go underneath that bar. It's like a Rollei cord. You find the slot and push it into the slot at the top here. Here we are, and press with the fingers, so tighten it, wind it gently. Watch the start marks. Now, there's the red dot. You load it up until the start is opposite the red dot. Then you close the back gently, everything gentle, remember these cameras, because they're worth a lot of money. Crank it round 4 times, 3, 4. Wind it back and it's on 16 frames on number 1 snap there. Take your snap, wind on for your next prize winning photograph. Take that, there's 2 prize winning photos now. Take that, lovely, lovely jubbly. So, beautiful, beautiful bit of gear, and I'm really going to treasure that. I have taken some negatives. What I've done, I've cut the film in the dark, and here is some 16 frames on some very old Orwo. So I did one at, it's normally weight 125. I did one at 100 ASA, and that one, and one at 50. So this was 100 ASA there, and that's 50 ASA. The 100 ASA one is quite good actually. Then on some very old Reala, dated 1998, Fuji Reala, I did these. You can see where I didn't cut it across straight, but never mind, it's good enough for testing. I did one at 100 and one at 50. One at 100, one at 50. And I think the actual speed now of that 1998 Reala is actually about 64 ASA. So I'll just meter it for 100 and give it half a stop more to allow for the age of the film. But there we are folks, my lovely Rolleiflex T, which is a great memorial from my old friend who sadly passed away at the age of 89. Let's hope I can last until then. Until then, please look at my rest of my videos and subscribe, and you'll get notified when I put some more up. Thanks for watching folks.